Hello everyone, and welcome back to my F1 2019 career mode here. And we're around Austria, which is round number 9 I think for this F1 2019 calendar. So we have 4 things here. Finally the development is completed, which is good. Goals are finished 8th or better, we should be able to do that, which is not too bad. And then we've got the weather, it is very wet in qualifying. It's going to be dry for Q1, and then Q2 onwards it's going to be in the rain, which is going to be interesting. Just to give you guys an update on the R&D, there it is. So Mercedes quite far on top, Red Bull and Ferrari very similar, but Ferrari just about the edge. We just about the edge over Racing Point, but we're still very close. And then it goes Haas, and there's a bit of a drop back to Renault, and then there's fairly similar to racing to Alfa Romeo. Williams have actually caught up quite a bit. If we look at the progress history, you can see that they've made some good leaps, but everyone is very close in that midfield, and we're still quite a long way behind the top 3. But anyway, I think that's all it needs to be said here, so let's dive on into qualifying. Okay, so the skies are gloomy here in qualifying, but it's not yet raining. I reckon we're going to get 1 lap on the dry tyres before it starts raining here. Very quick corner here to start the lap for a long straight, even though this turn here does count as 1, so this is actually now turn 3, which is a bit stupid. We've got a little bit wide, but nothing too bad to get the power down. Always focus on the best possible exit through there. Don't be too eager to get on the power, or else that car is going to fall away from you and spin to the right hand side. Here it's all about getting a very nice exit as well, not being too late or early on the brakes. You've got to nail the braking zone. This is all about keeping your minimum speed up, I guess, as I've said in the past, and using as much curb as you dare to take, and focus on a great exit down this mini straight, I guess. This here, you can get on the curb. I normally prefer not to, and then final corner it's just do that, flying through it as quick as you can, really cross the line. Good lap should see us through. There we go then, the rain is there as you can see, and we're in P3 because of the conditions. That's good.
Recommend taking the wet tyres in the current conditions.
And it's very wet here in Q2, and here we go then for our first lap in these wet conditions. You can see it's more of a tiptoe now, and unfortunately for us, Stroll has come out in front of us out of the pits, hopefully, and I'm praying that he gets out of our way. He's trying to get out of our way, but I don't, well, we're more focused on trying to avoid it. We've got up on the curb, we're going to run out a bit wide here, and we do run out a bit wide. That was not good at all for us. That's lost us a few tenths of a second, I reckon, which is never ideal, but anyway, we plough on anyway. We'll keep on going with this lap time. Go a little bit wide through there. The car just doesn't really like to slow down in wet conditions. It's now coming through the 2 left-handers here. This actually felt very nice through here, to be honest. The car broke nicely and then just drifted around the corner as I would expect it to, really. Definitely could have pushed a little bit more through there, but you don't want to over push because it's very easy to run out wide. So now for the final 2 corners, this is where there is really no grip if you don't get the right line, but luckily we have got the line right, and we are going to be crossing the line ever nearer, and there we go. So 117 flat, and now we've gone up for another lap time. We're in 12th, and we need to obviously be in 10th, so it has to be an improvement. Going through the first corner, got a very nice exit there. You can see how much that exit has gained here. We're pretty much a 10th up on the straight, and it's actually slightly going down the straight. I'm not sure why that is. And it's much better through there. We haven't got any traffic this time, and on exit we have gained, and like I said, we lost a few tenths doing that, so now we have gained a few tenths back, as we are 4.5 tenths up on our previous best time. Trying to be a bit more cautious on the braking, but we have to take evasive action because of it. Run out a little bit wide, and we didn't really lose much time, about 10th of a second, just under, should I say. And actually coming up through the double left-handers, this very nice there, gained us a bit of time, but we did get a little bit of snap of oversteer on the exit, but very solid through the second part there, as we are 4.5 temps up, but it's going down all the time. Now we're 4.5 temps up, going through the corners I took really nicely on the last go. This time taking it nice, pretty much just how I took on the other one. We're gonna go across the line. We've gone 4 temps up just about, and that is good enough for P11. That's a shame, means we're out of qualifying again in Q2. It felt like an alright lap, but it clearly wasn't. And I think Carlos Sainz is P15, so that's a terrible qualifying for the McLaren.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship, except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. It's one of the shortest laps on the calendar today then, with 7 rights and just 3 lefts, making up the 10 corners of this high-speed circuit. Turn 2 is barely a corner at all. They'll be flat out through there, a left-hand kink into the uphill braking zone of turn 3. Turns 1, 3 and 4 are all potential opportunities to overtake. Anthony Davidson, a very warm welcome to you as you join me in the commentary box for today's event. Let's talk about the Iceman. As with all the drivers at this level, they have a lot of ambition, but Formula One's a daunting step up from any other series, so expectations are high right from the start.
That's right, it is a difficult environment to come into. In junior categories, you're competing against drivers with similar levels of experience, but some of these guys in Formula One have been there for over a decade. But I have to say, in this case, it's so far so good.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The fence starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Considering the rest of the grid, we have Vettel, Leclerc, Alexander Albon, and Ricciardo, Hülkenberg, Perez, Magnussen, and Kimi Raikkonen. Iceman, Russell, Lance Stroll, and Sainz, Giovinazzi, Gasly, Daniel Kvyat, and Robert Kubica. Grosjean and Max Verstappen completes the grid. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Alright, this is Jeff. Can you hear me okay? We're further back than we hoped, but you can still get a good result from there.
I certainly agree with Jeff there. It's one of my stronger tracks on the F1 game, and now fuel's just going to be our standard amount. I think little 37.8 laps for this race, and then tyres go. I want us to go softs to mediums. I don't know about that. I reckon mediums to softs is going to be a bit better. We're going to be a bit slower off the start, but I think the sprint at the end of the race on the soft should be the quicker strategy. I think lap 20 to anything from 20 to 22 should be good. But I think we're ready, so let's dive on into the race. Here we go then, to 5 red lights here in Austria. Here we go then, from P11. We're underway here, very decent start from us, but you can see the mediums struggling to keep up off the start to the soft tyres, the more grippier tyres. We're going to fly around the outside, almost plough into the back of Perez there. We've got an excellent exit there, and we're going to be side by side with Kimi Raikkonen all the way down this straight, sort of straight, slightly left-handed. We actually dipped it onto the grass there. We've tried to outbrake Kimi, but we've actually outbraken Nico Hülkenberg as well, and then we get shoved off by Perez. And we've actually got 2 cars in 2 corners, which we weren't meaning to do, but we kind of had no choice because we broke that late, and we're up into P8, and hopefully we can progress on that position in the upcoming laps.
Race officials have enabled DRS. DRS is now available.
Here we go then, through turn 1. We've almost, I think we did hit into the back of Ricciardo, but not with enough force to pick up any sort of damage as we're flying down the main overtaking area here. We're going to take it nice and easy as we have Perez just in front of Ricciardo, perhaps holding him up, or he's just sort of just overtaken him, in fact, which I think he has. My engine is overheated slightly, which we're going to take note of as we go into non-ERS to try and help that, but that doesn't really do too much. You wanted to get out of the way of other cars, but we were around Ricciardo's outside, but we haven't made it move. We haven't made the move stick, so we'll be behind him for a little bit longer.
Some information on Stroll. They have some kind of mechanical
Now
problem.
on to lap 4, Stroll's got an issue, but he's behind us, so it doesn't really make a difference. So we're going to look to get a good run. We did have a decent entry, but we was carried a bit too much speed and lost the back end. But I don't think that matters, because we're still going to gain on them. We've cruised past Perez. Can we get Ricciardo as well? Can this be a beautiful double overtake? We try and go late enough for the brakes. Almost got a bit too late. Forced Ricciardo out a little bit wide, but it was the only way to really make the move stick, as we're now up into 6th, which is just where I think this car should be for this Grand Prix. Maybe 7th, but I think Verstappen started further back because of penalties. Now coming to the end of lap 4 then, so we've got
You're in the top 10.
Albon in front of us, and then Perez behind, and at the moment it's looking like we're going to be staying in these positions for a while. Or is it? Because here comes Perez now. Is he going to try and go for a move here? We've got on the curb, we've got really wide, we're off the track, and we have to recover that. We've actually haven't had a bad exit indeed, but we have been overtaken by Perez. Which is disappointing. We could have defended it, but we just got stuck on the curb, and it's very hard to slow your car down on these curbs. As we're down into 7th now, I reckon this fight is certainly not over, especially as his tyres get more and more worn. That was when my mediums should start coming alive, really, because of course these tyres do not wear as bad as the softs, and worn softs are never fun to drive on, which is why I normally pit as soon as I can whenever I'm on worn softs. Here we go then, trying to catch up to Perez as we go through the fast right-hander onto the next fast right-hander, and now onto the start-finish straight. Open the DRS, go into rich mix. I don't think this is the place we want to be overtaking him really, but he has gone on defensive here. We're going to go for a nice little switcheroo and focus on a good exit, which is exactly what we've got. Now open up the DRS for the second time this lap, and now we're side by side, but I think it's going to be a cruise past Perez. And there's the overtake on Sergio Perez here as we just take it easy. But here comes Ricciardo flying up the inside. I did not expect him to come out of nowhere, and he's up into 7th behind us now. What on earth is going on here? Everyone is swapping positions left, right and centre. We're up into 6th with Ricciardo in 7th, and Perez, I think, all the way down in 8th. So that was very interesting. Moving on to lap 8 then. Perez has re-overtaken Ricciardo. Not much of a surprise there. This car is superior to that Renault. And now he's going to try and fly up our inside. We don't want to fight it too hard. If we can focus on a good exit, then we could probably get him back down the straight. He's going to leave us just about enough space, as we've had an absolutely phenomenal exit. I always focus on a great exit through there, and that was no exception. A great exit from us keeps us in that 6th position for the time being. Hopefully we can keep this up. On to lap 9, exactly 1 lap later, we've got Perez still flying up behind us, but finally we get to brake at our normal braking zone, take it easy, and we've had another great exit to wave bye bye to Perez for the time being, as he's just too far back to make a move for now. Let's get a nice exit through there, and now coming to double left-handers here, just about in 6th position, but certainly could be anyone's game here. But I don't think that Perez has got it in him, because his tyres are going to start falling off the cliff, as they say, and my tyres are going to stay strong for at least another 10 laps. So we should see. I reckon nothing's going to change for a while. And having said that though, Perez is gaining and gaining and gaining and going for it here. We've got the inside line, but we're not going to defend it too hard. We're going to focus on a great run down here, which is exactly what we've got. We have been mincing him with our exit speed. We've had great traction every time out of that heavy braking zone of turn 3, and now we're going to cruise back past Perez, focus on a good exit to stay in front of him, which is what we have. And now into P6 again in this race, and hopefully stay in there now and start to close up to Albon. But I don't see Perez re-overtaking us now, to be fair. We just seem slightly too quick for him. And now advancing all the way to lap 21, because nothing really happened for them 11 laps. I was just pulling away from Perez, and then they all came into the pits, and I came out Bottas came out in front of me along with Hamilton with Leclerc just behind us. We come into the pits then, one lap earlier than my strategy suggested, and that is a phenomenal stop from the McLaren lot. There's level 3 pit stops coming in very handy there, over 1.9, which is pretty much what the world record in real life is, so from the Red Bull guys, which I think might have actually been around Austria itself, but I don't think it was. I think it was actually around Brazil, but correct me if I'm wrong. And now we've come out side by side with Albon, and we have got past him. We are on the far quicker tyres, and we are past Albon and up in a P5. And someone's come off had an engine failure behind, and I'm not sure who it is. Looks like an Alfa Romeo, and it is Kimi Räikkönen. And I'm just looking at the top right more than anything. Look, that was a purple second sector, and if you guys don't know what that means that that was the quickest second sector of any car on the grid. So that means even the front runners, I was quicker than them through that second sector. And let's see where I was in the third sector. I was quickest of all as well. So here we go. And we're going to go for a qualifying lap almost here. We're going to try and set the fastest lap in the race, because in 2019 in real F1, and that's why it's on the game, you get 1 extra point before the fastest lap in the race. And I reckon that we could get this here. We're going to not fastest through the first sector, however. Focus on a great run through the air. We could have been a bit more aggressive on the brakes, but we're okay. Here's the yellow flags from Raikkonen's retired Alfa Romeo. This car feels really good under braking now compared to with the old mediums. These fresh softs feel absolutely perfect to drive on quickly. Now through a left-hander, so lighting right into the sun for a few quarters makes it hard, as we're perfect through there. We're actually purple again. I reckon hold this out through the final sector, and this is going to be the fastest lap of the race. I don't think anyone's going to beat it because they're all on older mediums. Here we go then, through the left-hander. Can we get the final lap? This has been actually a very, very solid lap, pretty much better than my Q1 lap in actual qualifying. Here we go then, crossing the line, fastest lap of the race. Let's go. We'll take those in a McLaren. Fastest lap, and I don't think that'll be better, so I think that'll be an extra point for us. Now advancing on to lap 27. Just checking about Vettel. So we're starting to gain a lot on him here. So it went from about 7 seconds to 2.8. We've gained him a lot. And now onto lap 5, you can see how close Vettel is to us now. He was a long way behind us. After the pits, he was about 8 seconds in front. The gap is now just 1.8 seconds. If you look at the top left, it just quickly flashed up. But we have not got much ERS or fuel to play with here, and these tyres are going to fall off quickly. And as I said at the start, worn softs is not where you want to be. They just run out of grip so quick. Down the straight they're really slow as well. It's not ideal. 1.7 though we gained on him. As Jeff is just informing me that obviously we're not going to be pitting again, so these tyres could fall away from me very easily. Asking again about Vettel. As this time we're actually losing time to Vettel, so this could be very bad for us, because I don't think that we're going to be able to catch him at the end of this race. Now, on to the final lap of the race. We are now 5 seconds behind Vettel. We've lost so much time. These tyres are dead. You can't really see it because I took turn 1 half decent, but we've also lost a second or two to Albon, who was 10-11 seconds behind us. He's now only 9 seconds. Unless we spin or our tyres explode, we'll still stay ahead of him. But we just need to be careful. Just try and save the tyres. They're on about 73% or something. They normally explode once they get over 80, but you never know what could happen here. It's been a very good drive for us, to be fair. We've been very, very quick. We're going to get that fastest lap point because our name is still purple in the top left, which shows that we have the fastest lap of the race. And it's going through the left hand, as we can see on our mini-map. The race leader has crossed the line. That is Lewis Hamilton, and he has won the Austrian Grand Prix. I nearly said the Australian Grand Prix. Definitely not that. These tyres are absolutely gone. I reckon give them 2 more laps and they would completely explode. Bottas in second, Leclerc in third. Vettel did close up to Leclerc but couldn't pass him. Obviously Vettel in fourth, me in fifth. We're very happy with that. 11th to 5th, couldn't ask for much more. And there it is. Great result for us.
Okay, pick up rubber and bring it home.
So Mercedes have won it, and what a great race it was. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection, a shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium. Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot, a well-earned victory for Mercedes. So then, it's time to see how this result affects the Drivers' Championship. It's a great result for Lewis Hamilton, who moves further ahead at the top of the table. After an incredible day of racing, who was your driver of the day, Ant?
Often my go-to would be a driver who's managed to pull off an especially impressive feat during the race. However, in this instance, I was more impressed by Max Verstappen's solid, clean driving throughout the event.
Let's move on to the constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon.
And there we go then. That was the Austrian Grand Prix done. So now if we just dive into our workstation. After debriefing the invitational events, and nothing's really special there. 1,700 R&D points, so well, we can probably pull in one upgrade and maybe no, we can't do a. We can do a minor upgrade and one of these, but we can't do the major upgrade, which I would want to do. So let's do the major upgrade, I think.
If it were me, this is probably what I'd invest in.
We have enough money for that, but I think I'm just going to save it because I'm going to try and do one or two of these, because I have to do energy store and the control electronics and maybe another turbo one, but for now we're okay with that. And then we've got the aero, which we upgrade at some point because we haven't upgraded it at all yet, so but it's looking a bit better for us, to be honest. But I think that'll be all. So if you guys have enjoyed this video and indeed the series so far, please remember to smash the hell out of the like button, subscribe if you haven't already and you enjoyed this video, and I think that is all, and I will see you next time, and we'll be at Silverstone. Bye for now.